Hey, what's going on? It's Manny Garavito. It's time for another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. And today we are asking you, do you have an ex in Miami? What's life like? Was he or she or they Latino, Latina, Latinx, whatever, okay? Dating in Miami is a little difficult, but when you find someone and you actually have a relationship with them, what's life like afterwards? See, for me, all my relationships have been from Miami, and they've all been Latina. Now, of course, I had my flings here and there with different cultures and ethnicities, but I always find myself with a Latina, okay? And I'm not complaining. I love Latinas. And immediately what I do if I start dating a Latina is I start, trying to figure out, does this particular person have the same red flags that I've seen previous Latinas? And 9 times out of 10, they do. And that's okay. It's okay to have the red flags. It's just when you have too many. 1 or 2, fine. 3 at most. But when you have 4, and there's telltale signs. All right, for example, when you date a Latina, especially when they're an ex, the anger still lingers. You know what's funny about dating a Latina? While you're dating them and after it's over, they're still mad at you. They're mad during and after the relationship. They're even mad a little bit before you get into a relationship with them too. Where are we going to eat? There? How dare you take me out there? Being a bachelor in Miami is that whenever I go and I leave the city, whenever I see a flat ass, it's so refreshing to me. Now, call me crazy. When I went to Cleveland, I didn't see one big ass. Maybe I was in the wrong side of town, but everywhere I went, it was just flat asses all over the place. And I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot how feminine a flat ass is. Nothing wrong with a flat ass. See, here in Miami, the ladies out here are getting BBLs or they have the natural Latina booty. And it's all over the place to the point where it's not even unique anymore. It's like, oh my God, look, another big ass. Oh, how surprising. And then you leave and you see a flat ass. You're like, I forgot. Asses aren't supposed to be that big in the first place. All of my exes are from Miami. And the cold front came around. And the reason why I'm bringing up this topic is there's a lot of guys out there that have lost their hoodies to an ex. All right. It's almost like the rite of passage for both the man and the woman. All my exes have some sort of article of clothing, particularly jackets or hoodies. I lost, over $1,000 worth of clothes to my exes and they don't give them back. It's almost like you didn't give me a ring. This is a close second. Who told you to spend $300 at a scotch and soda denim jacket? It's mine now. Can I please get my jacket back? It's cold outside. Why are you texting me? Don't ever text me again. That's a good excuse to tell your ex not to text you anymore. When he comes around 3 years later saying, hey, can I get my denim jacket back? I don't want to talk to you ever again. My dad is Colombiano, and he introduced me to a lot of Colombianas, and most of them are very attractive. And some would argue that they're the most beautiful people in the world. But the problem is a Colombian girlfriend, or if you date a Colombian woman, they're very dominant. They like dominating the relationship very quickly, and they know how to establish dominance. It's a cultural thing. Colombian women are very verbally violent, and they know how to make a guy feel inferior with their words. And the funny thing is, if you go to a Colombian household, most of the times, the guy is shorter than the wife. You've seen it in the photos, right? You walk into a Colombian household, and it's a photo of like a little short guy standing next to his tall Colombian wife, and he's just like holding her by the hips like, I love Colombian women, but oh man, do they make you feel terrible. They know what to do. And when they call you things like culi cagado, that really hits you in the soul. That's an insult for men, by the way. But if you date a Latina and you have an ex that's Latina, how are you going to upgrade if you go to any other culture? Not necessarily that you're downgrading if you do, but in her eyes, you definitely downgraded. Oh my God, can you believe he went from a curvaceous Colombiana like me to a redhead from San Diego? And the redhead could be treating you amazing. She could be, she could be Irish, and she could be a sweetheart, and she could be treating you amazing. In your head, you upgraded, but in her head would probably be like, what does she cook for you? What do they cook over in Ireland? That's like one of the biggest flexes for Latina women. If you marry a Latina, what ends up happening is you're not going to be at peace. You chose this life. If you don't make a Latina an ex and you decide to stay with her for the rest of your life, I'm not blaming you. Whatever your preference is, but just know you chose violence over tranquility. That woman will haunt you even if she passes first. All right. A Latina really knows how to sink their claws in you. And let's say, for example, you get old and then she passes away first, right? And the guy sticks around. And let's say you find somebody you go on Tinder at age 50 or whatever. You find somebody and you're dating somebody. The Latina will probably be petty enough to come back and haunt the both of you just out of spite. All right, that's just the Latina lifestyle. Tips for dating a Latina. Good one. Okay, so tips. Let's see. You got to be a really good listener. If you want a Latina ex, you got to be a really good listener and you got to be a yes man. Okay, and even though you don't mean it, be a yes man. She's gonna be like, "You know, and you're just like, yes, sí. Throw in a couple of C's in there. Sí, mi amor, sí, como no. Next thing you know, she's like, I like this guy. This guy can take me at my worst. So he deserves me at my best. And then the next thing you got to do is know how to satiate her prowess. Latinas have a particular rhythm of life. They prefer certain standards that other cultures can't provide. For example, money. No, I'm just kidding. Food. Okay, you got to take her to some really good restaurants. She's got to eat good. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think Latinas would be into stuff like hot dogs. I've never seen a Latina eat a hot dog. You know what I'm saying? Because, they don't necessarily go to baseball games. So you got to take her out to some really good restaurants that have particular dishes that satiate her prowess. Okay. Another thing is you got to take her out dancing often. Okay. You got to take her to lots of reggaeton clubs. And then even if you got to work the next day, it doesn't matter. You got to take her out once or twice a week, particularly on her when she has a day off the next day. You better find a good place and stay out till about 2, 3 in the morning. Because if you start going home at 10, 11 o'clock talking about I got to wake up early, she's going to find somebody that's going to take her out late at night. Okay. Another tip to have a Latina ex, got to get along with her parents. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Latinas are very family oriented people and the mother wants to get in on all the gossip. A tip that I would give you is make sure you get along with your Latina's parents, especially the mother. Your Latina girlfriend or ex starts talking shit about you to her mom's probably going to be on your side. Because you won her over. And the best way to do that, you buy her flowers, you say nice things, and you know what else you could do? Counteract it. Gossip about her daughter. Get along with her mom, trust me. That's gonna help you out in the long run.